All right, Bosh, we're back. Another episode of Squeeze and Oak podcast, and today, privileged to have with me mind coach, the one and only Vinny Shoreman. Thanks a lot for doing this. Yeah, good man.
The privilege is all mine, thank you.
I don't know about that, mate, but I'm happy to be here, mate. So thanks for having me. Are we allowed to say where we are, or is it a secret location?
Yeah, we're in Holmes Chapel where I live.
Holmes Chapel, lovely place.
Shout out to Holmes Chapel Boxing Club, doing good things in the community, and so I love it. Best place I've ever moved. Never leaving here. So.
Brilliant. Where are you from originally? You're not from this?
Originally from Manchester.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, originally from Manchester, about 25 minutes from a place called Partington. It's Trafford. So,
okay.
So
basically where I was staying on the Northern Tour I've been on.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it's Trafford, so it's where, by genetics, by birthright, I'm a Man United fan.
Oh, here
don't
we
ask
go.
Me any,
Early.
don't
I
ask
didn't
me
even
any
ask.
questions about football.
Wasn't me.
No, nothing about football, but that's where I'm from. Yeah.
You said by birth, we see if we can give you another team by the end of the show. And we see how we get on.
Even so, I won't be wandering anywhere else.
Brilliant. So before we get into some of your mind stuff and all that, mate, like, what's your martial arts entry? I've seen you hit the pads, and for anyone who hasn't seen Vinny hit the pads, you can throw a mean right hand. So was you a fighter originally? Is that how you got into it?
Yeah, but I didn't get to any level of excitement, really. Never suited me, if I'm honest. I didn't really like it. I liked the idea of martial arts because I grew up on Jackie Chan and ninjas and all that sort of stuff, and the old kung fu films, Golden Harvest and stuff like that. So I loved all that. And then when I first seen Muay Thai, Grandmaster Scan, as it's called now, I seen him doing some magical things with his legs and flying around in the air, and I thought, that'll do me. So that's how I got into it, really.
And how old was you when you started, mate?
15. So It's my 40. I'm 55 in September, so it's my 40th year this year.
Boom. So still in love with it, I take it?
I love the people involved in it, if I'm honest. A lot of good friends, and be friends forever. Do I love the sport? I like it. I wouldn't say I love it anymore. And I'd be lying because I can still be enthusiastic about it and still get excited, but the need to be immersed in it so much, I haven't got that. But then again, that comes with longevity, doesn't it? So I love it. I like it, but I don't love it, but I love the people in it. So, yeah, in a roundabout way, I still love it, but it's not as exciting for me anymore, if I'm honest.
I got you. And was it always Muay Thai? You never dabbled in other stuff?
No, boxing first. Went boxing at 9. I went boxing in Longsight, Manchester, where I lived. I only went there once or something, and then at 13 went to Sale West, which was the club where Ricky Hatton was from later on.
He was all right, wasn't he, Ricky?
He was pretty good, wasn't he? Did all right. So I went there, and then dabbled in other things like smoking.
The old martial arts smoking.
The old martial arts of having 10 B&H, and then I got into Thai boxing, and what I do love, just to interject though, what I do love about Muay Thai is commentating.
Okay.
When I get to commentate on a show that gets me excited, you can't help but keep that. I'm still excited by the fights for the Hitman Fight League, who I work for. I work for 2 shows now only, a Hitman Fight League and Infusion. Infusion's a kickboxing show. Okay. It's based in Holland. And Muay Thai in the Hitman Fight League. So you can't not get excited by the Hitman Fight League because the fights are sick and the people who are running it are very close friends of mine. So, yeah, it's a win-win for me.
So, yeah, I mean, you came to sort of my view anyway, and a lot of people when you was on Rogan, right? You was on Joe Rogan with your pal Liam Harrison, right?
Yeah, I was on it twice on my own first.
Oh, was you? Okay.
Yes,
I've seen them all. I didn't realise what order they was in.
Yeah. The first 2 I did on my own. Second 2 I did with Liam.
Okay.
And yeah, I was very privileged, very lucky. Joe's a lovely guy. And the exposure I got was incredible. And the sport got more eyes on it as well for people, and Liam got more eyes on him, and everyone we worked with, Liam works with and I worked with, it got more eyes on everyone, so everyone benefited from it. So yeah, I can't thank Joe enough for that.
I mean, you started with Rogan, but you're on Squeeze the Neck now, mate, so you I guess you'd say you've made it, right?
Well, yeah, that's it now. That's that. What else can I do except, I don't know, I might swim the channel. Could do an ultra marathon, but thank you for having me.
No, man, I appreciate you for coming on. But if we talk about sort of Liam Harrison and how you got involved with, not just Liam, but like how you got involved with fighters, because obviously you said you boxed early, you got into Muay Thai, but how did you get involved in sort of, and what do you do with them? Was it initially the mindset stuff, or did you start coaching people?
Oh, yeah, I had a gym.
Oh, okay.
I had a gym for a long time, and a few fighters won world titles and stuff.
Okay, cool.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah,
I had my own gym for years. But when I started being a mind coach, the focus. I'm based. I'm sure it's ADHD. I'm not been diagnosed, but I'm sure it is. But so what? Is if I focus on something, I do it well. Mm-hmm. If I focus on a few things, I don't do them. I do them mediocre. So when I was learning to be a mind coach, that took my eye off coaching, and I thought it wasn't fair on the fighters and stuff for me to be half-assed. You can't do that if you're not gonna be helping them and being there for them. It's not fair. It's not fair at all. So I decided to stop that teaching, and then went on and did the mind coaching. I mean, lots of my fighters, my students have done well. Kevin Harper, who's got Majestic Gym, he's trained world champions. Steve Donnelly, who's training champions, these new juniors that he's got through, doing a brilliant job. Rick Barnhill, another one training champions and doing well, and there's many, etc. And they've gone on to have their own fruit from the tree, from the root to the fruit. And I couldn't be more proud of them. So yeah, it's nice to see.
That's great, man. So what brought about the mindset stuff? Was you just sort of looking for another avenue for your fighters, or how's that?
I was in a dark place myself. Okay. I come out of a toxic relationship, which I should have got out of sooner, but it's all hindsight's fantastic, isn't it? And I was in a pretty bad place, drinking too much, not excessively, but drinking too much for me. Snorting, smelling different magic powders to dance with. That wasn't a big thing, but I was doing it. I'm not going to lie and pretend that that I've not done things that I'm not proud of. And I went to a seminar by a guy called Keith Mayer, who works for Liverpool Football Club, one of the most influential people in my life. I love him dearly, so I can't thank him enough. And I went to a seminar of his, felt better, didn't know why, but know that I wanted more, so the journey started.
And when's this sort of time-wise, mate? Was you still a kid, or was you
No, I was an adult, believe it or not. It was 2006.
Okay, so way back in the day now, isn't it? That's the year I left school, mate, so that makes me feel old, I tell you what, 2006.
I left in 86, so there you go.
There's a guy in the gym the other day, I won't mention his name because I still got the ump with him. He come up, he signed his date of birth was 2008, and he looks like a grown man, so I was like, Jesus Christ, man. But so when you first found it, did you know this was going to be something you'd use for fighters, or was this just a roundabout way and it ended up that way?
Since a child, I've always liked making people feel better. Whether it be me ridiculing myself and being a clown, or me having banter with people, I've always liked it. Always people crying and being upset always upset me. Just stirred something within my soul, really. Sounds dramatic, but I'm being honest. And being able to help others and seeing people get better and do better, just by what I say, not me doing it. Never take credit for what the client does. The client does it, not me. I just suggest, and if they do it, that's great. Some will, some won't, which is obviously, that's life. But to see people change and to get to a better place in life, it does a lot for me.
Yeah, and it's obviously coming from a genuine place, right? I turned up today. I don't know you before this. You give me a big hug, got hold of me. In shape, by the way, Vinny is. Grabbed hold of me, strong as a ball.
I'm breathing in.
Strong as a ball he was when he got here. But I keep saying it. I feel like I keep saying it to people on here lately. I don't know if there's something to that. Maybe we can touch on that. Is when the more people I'm meeting doing this on this mad little journey I'm on with the podcast, it's like, instantly there's an energy with someone, right? And I don't want to sound too hippie trippy, but come here, there's a warmth, there's an energy. Yeah. Are you one of them that feels like it was a natural calling for you? Is there something innate in you?
I like being kind.
Yep.
I've always have done. I've liked being kind. I do not walk on water. I don't pretend that I do everything right. I don't pretend that I do everything to the letter, and I haven't done. But I'm still on a constant journey to improve myself as a man. And as a human being, as a person, I believe that if you are nice to people and you help them out, and if it's received back, good, and if you don't, well, that's up to you. However, I don't tolerate... What I have done recently is I won't tolerate anybody insulting me or disturbing my peace. Okay. I'm a good person. I believe I'm a good person. And I do help people out, and I do other things that you don't mention, take pictures of it, charity stuff or whatever. I don't do that. But I do things like that. And however... I just don't let anyone disturb my peace, because when you're peace and you've got turbulence from other people that are not really bringing anything to the table, especially if they're not a client, then I don't let that happen. So I'm very good at blocking and deleting people.
Yeah, right.
Because you can't sit there and try and understand everybody's problems. I'm not talking about people that ask me for help. I'm talking about just spite. I don't live like that, so I won't tolerate it.
Yeah.
No.
You can't, can you? Ultimately.
No, but people do.
Yeah.
People do tolerate because yeah, and then they start text tennis. I mean, I've done it myself. You text tennis and you're arguing. You did this, you did that. You're knocking. I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
Right. I'd rather be happy than right.
Okay, well, that's an interesting one.
It's
I like
very
that.
true.
Yeah,
it's very
I like
true.
that.
I'd rather be happy than right. And then people say, oh yeah, and this, that, and the other, and like, right. It's like when the pandemic was on, and people say, what they're doing is, and I'm God, sure. I've done my research. What, on YouTube? That's not research, is it? That's not reading papers, is it? Or whatever. I'm not just using the pandemic. You know, whatever people believe, they can believe. But I mean, I hold my own counsel, and I'm happy. What the main thing is in this house. As long as everything's safe, everyone's happy and safe, and then the rest of the thing can overstretch to other areas. However, the most important thing is home.
Bosh, heard it there, kids. Most important thing is home. Facts.
Facts.
So if you work with a fighter, for example, let's just go really sort of vague. Fighter comes to you, oh, Vinny, you know, I'm struggling. I've got, you know, blah, blah, blah going on. Missus driving me mad. I've got a fight coming up. I can't focus. Whenever I walk to the ring, I always get overly nervous and I second guess myself, blah, blah. I'm assuming this is something that's quite a commonplace for you. Sorry. Yeah, right. So, like, what's step one? Like, we don't have to get too specific, or we can get as specific as you want.
Specific as you like.
Great. Specific as we can get then. So, like, what's sort of the first steps? Do you get to know the man first, or the woman, obviously? Do you get involved?
I say don't do it then.
Right. Okay. Simple as that.
Well, I want to. Okay, then that's good. We can work with that. Because if they don't want to do it, I'm not going to make them do it. I have had fighters where I've said, it's not for you.
Because they're not made for that.
It's just not for them.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me. And it's hard for them. I don't know about ladies, sorry, but as a man, and you admit fear, you admit that you don't really want to do it and you don't like it, it's quite hard to do. Especially when you're in a gym where they're like, yeah, and they're all tough and stuff like that. And you know, I'm as camp as a row of tents, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, if anyone heard me talking to my dog, they think, he can't hit him. He did Thai boxing. I'm like, come on. But that's actually my real voice. And I just think that, you know, I always ask, well, don't do it then.
Right.
And then you get the narrative of why. So when they find that reasoning, then you flip it on its head, because they're not used to that. They're not used to going, don't do it then. And they're like, it breaks state. Because anyone that comes to me is already in a state, meaning that they'll come in with a preconceived idea of what goes on. I haven't, because I don't know what they want.
Right.
I just don't know. They walk in and I haven't got a clue, and I don't have a preconceived idea of what they're going to be, because then I can mix it with what I think, not what I know. Or not what they know to teach me. Does that make sense?
Of course, yeah.
So when a person comes in, I just say, well, and they say, oh, I don't know if I say, well, don't do it then. And then they go, well, no, I want to do it. And then you've got something to work with.
Right. So
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. You give them a little bit and they bounce back, and then
they go, well, what do it? And they go, all right, there's more energy to that.
Right. Right. Yeah, because I've heard you talk loads of times. And there was one that was really fascinated me with Liam Harrison. He spoke about, and he said, "You'll correct me where I'm wrong on this one," but it was like something about you kind of put him in a state, and he walked to the ring, and he looked at you, and he said a specific word.
It was in round 4 against Anawat Kelsam-Rit.
Great. Okay.
It's one of the stories that is etched in my soul, and it's etched in Liam's soul. And
it gives me chills when I heard it. I was like, wow.
It was very strange, because we did a trigger word called Warrior for him. He previously fought Anawat and been stopped by him with low kicks. Anawat is a monster. Anyone that loses to Anawat, it's no shame in that, because he knocked everybody out. He was an absolute monster, one of the greatest of all time. So when Liam was fighting him again, he never worked with me on that way. We'd always been friends. He's got a ridiculous sense of humour, so have I. I mean, the amount of times I get voice notes off him and he sends of me just making noises. I've never admitted that to anyone. So, hello? But, maybe call that out. But, no, and then he contacted me and he asked me about my work and stuff like that, which he didn't really know. He knew me on a Thai boxing basis, but he didn't know me as that type of person, or that avenue that had gone down.
Well, sorry to cut him. Was he already sort of world title level
fighter?
Oh,
yeah, God, yeah. I mean, there's people that are born to do it.
Yeah.
And God, whoever you believe, you know, He was made to do it. He is just built like that. He's absolutely phenomenal, phenomenally obsessed, driven, and just so single-minded. You can't help but admire what he does.
Yeah.
And even in the twilight age of his career, obviously not chronologically, but fighting-wise, doing incredible. So we did that, and then we did Warrior, and it was a trigger word. I told his coach, Richard Smith, who's a good friend of mine, dear friend of mine, him and his family. And then in round 4, there was Richard was there, and I think Andy was in the corner, and maybe someone else. And he looked between his cornermen, and I was commentating at the time, and he just looked straight at me and said, Warrior, without any, just like this sort of Terminator-like face. And then he went on and beat Anawat on points, which is an incredible comeback. You can't write him off.
Yeah. And you said there was the part of the story, I think you said he didn't remember it after, right?
He didn't remember it, no, because it was unconscious. So from then, that was one of those things where it made me realise that what I'm onto is a big thing. And I can help in ways when people are under fire, which literally it was. Yeah,
and I'm assuming with this, obviously I would imagine they come to you for the fighting aspect of it, right? But does it bleed into other aspects of their life and sort of tidy things up for them?
Well, I like working with fighters, but I work with everyone because the fighters have the same problems as everybody else. It's like, because you're a fighter, you don't. Of course, you get upset by your dog dying, your mum doing this, or your uncle, or whatever, or you've been somewhere, or your sister's got a drink problem, or you have, or whatever. So it's never really exclusive to fighters.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm working with Mr. Borland, John Borland, who's a former Navy SEAL who does tales of horror, macabre, and stuff like that. He's really big on YouTube.
Right, okay.
Going out on a thing, you couldn't meet a better guy.
Is that right? Yeah.
Oh, and Nick Witters, who I work with in Giacomo, and the people that work in his company, and I've been working with them guys. And what he's seen in action, I'm obviously not going to discuss it, but what because of his coach, his mind coach, and he tells me about all these stories and stuff like that, and to see how well he's done and all that. I mean, I see so many success stories around me, but so exclusively don't just work with fighters.
Yeah.
But Mr. Borland's, you need to check out.
We'll shout out Mr. Borland.
You need to check out Mr. Borland. His stories are horrifying.
Yeah.
But you're like, wow. It's like, because they're real stories. They're not made.
Did you say he's Navy SEAL?
He was a Navy SEAL,
so he's seen some shit, hasn't
he has seen some stuff. That's
on him. Yeah.
That's what his is. I'm not going to discuss that. It's nothing
of course.
to discuss. But the stories that he tells, and the camaraderie I've got with that group of people so quickly, I'm extremely blessed. So yeah, I'm really happy to work with them. But fighters, I think some of the time with fighters, some of them, not all of you.
Watch out.
But thing is, when you remember this, that when you win, it's your fault, but when you lose, it's everybody else's, which is interesting. Not everyone, but people like that. It's everybody else's fault, but when you win, it's yours. Yep,
that's it. And you do get a lot. I tell you what, I've spoken about this before in here as well. Fighters of all people are some of the most sensitive, aren't they? You know what I mean? In terms of
because you're laid bare, aren't you?
Yeah, but I mean in terms of big, tough guys, whatever they're doing. But if someone on Instagram says you were shit in that fight, it's like it kills them.
These certain things that are that buttons to be pressed. Some people do, some people don't get like that. Some people just shrug the shoulders and not. Some people are very highly strung. It's just, this is the thing about the job. Oh, what's a common thing, people? There isn't one. Because everyone's different, and that's why I love the job.
Yeah.
And that's why I like working with everybody, not just fighters. I like working with fighters, but some people don't, thank you. But then again, some people do. I worked with Josh Taylor before his comeback fight against Jack Cattrall.
Okay, recently, right?
Yes, and I heard all sorts of things of me. Oh, Josh is this, and I found him absolutely a diamond of a human being.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah. And where he was at that time, there was things going on for him, and he had a brilliant performance against Jack. In my view, controversial decision. However, what can you do? But he was fantastic. And to see where he was, it can be very difficult. The public pulling you apart.
Yeah.
You know, it's very difficult. It's like so recently Oasis have just announced a comeback, and everyone's happy about it. I'm not no consequence to me. Good if you like it, great. But then there's a picture of Liam Gallagher with Jimmy Savile. All of a sudden, he's a wrong 'un.
Oh yeah.
How do you work that out? So everyone that's had a picture with someone that's a criminal, they're that.
Because he must have known the whole story.
Of course he did. The whole news. There's so much. There's a difference between facts and information, because information can be false. Facts can't be.
Well, but a lot of people just want to have a moan at people anyway. They've got some relevance, right?
I just don't get it. Let people, right, Oasis are coming back. You're happy about it, or you're not.
Yeah.
Who cares? It's just that people are too... It's like you're looking over your fence and laughing at everybody else's garden. Sort your own out.
That's it, yeah.
Pull your weeds out, mow your grass, look after your flowers, and get on with it, instead of pointing all this and that. It's just such a blame culture at times, and that frustrates me. However, I'll take a deep breath and relax.
So with obviously you said about Josh Taylor with the Cattrall thing. Yeah. This one you said was controversial, which it was. I didn't watch the whole fight.
The bow fights were
the first one I was going to say.
The bow fights were controversial, and that's it. But it's in history. So we can, how many people have rehashed it? It's over, it's history. But what I deal with the person, and I found Josh Taylor, his coach Joe, Dennis McCann, Frankie Stringer, Jack Turner, Declan, all the people from Rotunda in Liverpool, have been nothing but diamonds.
Yep.
So I only go about what I see. You can tell me what somebody is or what somebody isn't. I find out more for myself.
Yeah, I think you got it to an extent, don't you? Because
otherwise the information's false.
That's it. Because the conception on, like you said, touched on a bit with Josh Taylor, is he's a bit of an arse. He's hard to be around, isn't it? But
that's what other people. But it wasn't with me.
That's what I'm saying. But we don't know him, right? You see him on the TV.
But what other people say. But that's not just Josh. It's everyone who gets these things said about them, or this, that, and there, this and there, that, and you don't really know.
No.
And the trouble is, we get half truths. We don't get facts. We get information. But it's information from whom and from what, and what's the purpose. You know, so it's difficult at times.
Yeah, and how's that work?
In the public eye.
In the public eye, massively, right? Because there's pressures from everywhere, isn't there? But how's that work when you work with a fighter and stuff like that? Is it after the fight too, or is that just sort of leave it alone until they come back?
I don't know. This is a bugbear for me, because it's like they want to see you before the fight. I get that, and they could, because all of a sudden they ramp up the things and they think, right, I want to do that. However. Have to pause it there.
Pause it there, yeah, go for it, mate. I'll hold the fort. I'll tell people to subscribe and do all the things they're meant to do. So, yeah, as I say, guys, I'm enjoying myself here with Vinny. You can see it's nice and relaxed. He's very welcome when we're having a chat.
Just come in.
Please give us a like and a subscribe, because, that's going to help us grow and get more fantastic guests like Mr. Vinny.
I know, sit there. Sit there. If you want, yeah. But you don't. Can you see the door?
Yeah, no, come in. That's all fine, mate. The mic's pick it up anyway, so you can join the conversation if he wants, mate. But yeah, we was picking it up. We were saying about after a fight. What's your idea?
I just think that it's not this. We have got a thing on the Shoreman Solution, which is a video series that I have that talks about all sorts of stuff, anxieties and stuff like that, and there's hypnosis on there and blah blah blah. However, it's just like. With that, I think that people should carry on seeing you, because you're going to deal with the problem when it's intensified towards the fight. Yet, what is the other bits that can be causing you problems in your life?
Is it a little bit like physical training in terms of you should be
training
year-round?
You can't go to a strength and conditioner for five weeks.
That's what I mean, yeah.
And then that's it. Don't do any more. So it doesn't. That's what people haven't got the idea around yet. But that's up to them. Yeah,
because it's common sense to me, right, from the outside.
It's common sense. So like Mr. Ball and the guy from YouTube and my friend, he speaks to me every week.
Does he? Yeah.
Now that it's financial if they can do that, but it's the difference between falling off the tracks and not. Because you could say, last week they just ring me randomly, and I'm fine with that. You know, I'm never one of these people that you can only talk to me and blah, blah, oh no. Maybe I should be. Maybe I'd earn more money that way. However, I don't, because I just don't think it's. I think if they need you, regardless.
Yeah. And you get people, obviously. Do you like working with people in person, or is it online? Or
yeah, but we've got an office in Norfolk, in Cheshire, where I am. So, and I've had that for a few years now. And I work from the office or I work from FaceTime.
Yeah, doesn't matter. All the same.
Everywhere's accessible.
Nice. And what's your deal with training people, mate? You still train fighters physically?
No,
out of that game. But I've seen you, as I said, on the pads. I've seen you. You obviously keep yourself in shape. Did you? Am I right in saying you had a hip problem at one point?
I had a hip replacement 5 years ago in September.
And how's that now?
Fantastic.
Yeah. Do you still kick and all that business?
No, I don't.
You don't kick?
I don't enjoy it enough.
Right. Okay. But it's not limited.
I don't enjoy it enough. Is it? Yes, but it's only because I haven't been repetitious to do it.
I got you.
With me, I just enjoy boxing. I box with my mate Steve. You can't see him; he's behind the camera there.
Yeah, Big Steve was working out when we turned up. So shout out Big Steve.
Big Steve's in the house. Big Man City fan, but don't hold that against him.
I was at the Etihad the other day, mate. We'll have a chat in a bit.
Oh.
I was actually at the first game of the season when you beat Chelsea, but we'll talk about misery after.
Forget about that.
We'll talk about misery later. Yeah.
So I go and train with Carl. Carl at Powerbox in Powerbox Liverpool.
Okay.
Fantastic. Best pad man I've ever been on pads with.
Is that right?
Yes.
And is he a boxing man? Is he pure boxing?
Absolutely fabulous, yeah.
Yeah.
Without shadow of a doubt, he's the best kid I've ever been with. He's superb. And I do my strength and conditioning with Jake. Jake Clark down at Derby Lane as well. Derby Lane's a great gym. Shout out to them. Nice. And then I go Holmes Chapel Boxing, which I love all the people there. All great people. Callum, Zoe, Kevin, Kerry, all the people that look after that. Good people around us. And I'm really blessed. You know, honest to God, I am so blessed. I wake up in the morning and I'm never sometimes. I'm not going to tend to walk on water, I don't. But I've got good mates. I've got a great gym. I'm in great health. Everyone's doing well. I have some good news about my wife's brother who was unwell, and that's going better. And it's little things, you know.
Yeah.
Reminders. I constantly remind myself how lucky I am, you know. So yeah.
Because obviously I followed you on the gram for a long time now, mate, and you're into your ice baths and all that business as well. So I spoke about this earlier on other podcasts as well, but I did like the online first level of Wim Hof.
Okay.
I'm into the breathing, I do all that kind of stuff, and it seems like you're into a bit of that kind of things too. Does that tie in and help with your fighters and stuff as well?
No.
No. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't mean you fighters. I mean you for your fighters.
Not at all. No. I mean, I was a fan of Wim Hof's, and then we did a documentary on him.
Okay.
For the company that I work for, Infusion. Edwin, Betty, and Julian, everyone, shout out to them. And and we went to his house, which was in February, and the Dutch all knew him and stuff like that, and we went into his frozen ice pond thing. He had this little swimming pool, and it was arduous. He's an incredible guy, and ice baths are incredible and stuff like that. The breathing I don't do. Okay. I'm breathing in and out. It's been 55 years now. I'm pretty good at it. But not the breathing so much. But I do the ice baths and I bought a sauna, which is a life changer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it help with injuries and stuff? A silly question, really. But do you find long-term stuff?
I bought mine from Peak Fitness.
Peak Fitness.
Get onto them. Peak Fitness. Peak Fitness 24. I think. But anyway, I bought it from them, and it was cheap for what it is. But what I've noticed is I'm a lot calmer.
Okay.
And I don't know why, because I'm quite a highly strung person at times. But I'm a hell of a lot calmer. And I think that's to do with spending that little time on my own or with Steve or whoever, and just having that little downtime, that break from the world, you know. Training's arduous. It still brings up your cortisol, your adrenaline and all that. But with that, you just tend to, I'm not trying to win anything. I do 20 minutes. I don't try and do anything and win and go do half an hour and all that malarkey. And I just think that with having a sauna, and the benefits of them are just absolutely ridiculous. You see Rhonda Patrick go on about them. And the study that they did in Finland over 20 years, you can't argue. Like I said, you can't argue with facts.
Yeah, that's right. And for anyone who doesn't know Finland, the one I'm thinking, it's like 4 times a week type deal, and it's longevity.
It's 4 to 7 times a week. They'll cut your risk of Alzheimer's by 63%. It lowers blood pressure, lowers your risk of heart disease, does lots of things for your brain, does your heat acclimation. And it's just fab. But the guy from Condition Nutrition, Peter Miller, he put me onto the heat acclimation. Pete's doing massive things. He works with everyone in one championship. Yeah, so he told me about it. And then since then I've got one, and I'm happy with it. Over the moon with it.
Nice. I love a sauna myself, mate.
Should have brought your stuff. I could have had one.
Yeah, well, there you go. Maybe I'll just take my clothes off and get in there.
Oh, no, next time.
Please the neighbours, wouldn't it?
Yeah, this is all right. 6 foot fence, you're all right.
But so if we touch on like sort of a little bit, because another story, not to keep going on about old stories of what you told before, but there was a story of, I think you said 2 guys that were sort of from your town that were in their 60s, and they saw someone, or I might be butchering it a bit, but you saw someone that used to bully him when he was like a kid.
Bill.
Can you tell us that story? Because I found that fascinating.
Yeah, when I lived in a place called Macclesfield, which is a very hilly area in Derbyshire, just near the Peak District. And I used to go and see the neighbour next door, Lil. She was like 87. She was frail and stuff like that. She's not around anymore, but there you go. Very sad. Anyway. I used to go and see her. If I made food, I'd make her some. So I'd go around and take it round to her and look for it, knock on the door. And, you all right, Lil? She used to dodder and let me in. And we used to watch Jeremy Kyle together and that, have her a cup of tea. And she used to have whiskey in her, so I used to clock her a little bit of a whiskey.
Good old Lil, yeah.
It's good old Lil, bless her. And she had a son called Bill. And he was very mild, meek, so to speak, person. And I was walking out of my house, and I lived on a hill like this called Allen Street. And he was stood at the end of the road, and he was looking down the road and then smoking his cigarette and then looking. I was like, that's weird. So I was walking, I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm waiting for them 2 fellas to walk down past. I'm waiting for them 2 fellas to go. I said, why? I said, he used to bully me at school. 61.
Right.
But you see how the mind holds stuff? Holds stuff and that's still that inherent fear. 61.
Yeah.
You know, so it's these things, and that's what I like to change, help clients change some of the narratives that they have.
Yeah.
That go on in the mind.
And do we all I mean, it might be a silly question. I was going to say, because like, since I've been doing this, obviously I've listened to you on different things over the years and different people as well. Yeah. And it starts to make you sort of question things. Do you know what I mean? It starts to make you think of like...
But isn't that exciting?
Absolutely, yeah, 100%
Isn't that
yeah,
exciting?
For sure. Yeah. Because I get to the point, like, I'm a bit of an overthinker, right? So, like, I'll think of things that went on like that from my earliest memories.
But if you overthink how to be more successful and how to push yourself forward and do better, then that's not a problem.
No, that's right.
It's always a pro. You overthink. Yeah, we overthink when you're talking. You have rumination when you think about a negative. However, when you overthink, I'm going to get better. I'm going to improve. That's a good thing. Yeah,
because I'm one of them as well that will sit there and think about something that happened, and not that this is a therapy session or make myself sound like a bit of an oddball, but like I'll find myself driving sometimes and I'll think of something from like, I don't know, 14 or something that irritated me, and I'm still
you can't stop that, because if people could stop that, there'd be billionaires. You can't stop random thoughts. What you can do is question it in a different way. Okay. So like, what's that about?
Yeah,
that's what it's about. What's it about? Not why, and then go round in circles. You see, people they think that you can go back and change stuff. You can't. It's impossible with no time travel yet, is there? But I mean, what you can do is you can by viewing it now, you can change the way you think about it now. That will change the way you feel about it then.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't change the actual thing. 9/11 was 9/11. That's in people's memories, and everyone, where was you when 9/11 happened? Oh, I was in blah, blah, blah. You know, or God forbid if he was there, or horrific. You know what I mean? Or you had someone who sadly passed away in that. Or any date, really. Yeah. But I mean, we just use that as an example. That will always be like that. But how you view it at the time can change. Or you can disconnect maybe a little bit. Not always, and in some cases they won't, because it's that traumatic. However, it's about viewing it in a different perspective. Trying to not view it emotionally. So
almost view it from the outside, as if you
view it from disassociated.
Right, okay.
So as associated is, oh God, blah, blah, blah. You're like, right. See, if a client come to me and they're in tears, which they have been and they do, fighters and non-fighters, you know, and everybody. And if they're in tears and stuff like that, me crying with them doesn't help them, does it?
No, probably not. No.
It's like being a lifeguard, isn't it? And then jumping in the water with them. I'll get in. And like, no, you throw a life ring and pull them out. You wouldn't jump in and...
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's about you being detached emotionally from that. And when you detach emotionally from that, you see sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, all them people that rioted in Southport who've got, for instance, who've got now long sentences. They'll be like, why don't you just stay in? Yeah. No, but you know what I mean.
Of course, yeah,
absolutely.
It's
just too incensed. They did what they did. I don't know what the reasons why they did it. But I'm using that as an example, of course. And like, you know, we sometimes we knee-jerk, we run off with these things, and it's not true.
Yeah.
But we have to, because what we have to do to make sense of things, we have to make it sense. So what we do is we shave things that are round to get in square holes,
right?
Or square things to get in round holes. Because what we do is we have to have the fit of the narrative, so it makes us understand. Human beings are not really going, you know what? I don't even know. Or what do you think? I don't really know about it.
So they just box it off.
We don't like doing it. We like to go, oh, I know what it is. What it is this, and this, and blah, blah, blah. And in all honesty, you know, sometimes the best answer is you don't know.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
Yeah. And when you work with fighters, a lot of the time, is it, you said if ideally for you, you've got like time to work with them sort of year round. Is that a fair assumption?
Mostly not.
Mostly not.
Mostly not, because they just think of it like a nutrition plan.
Yeah.
8 weeks out, I'll call him.
Yeah, I got you.
But even less with me.
Yeah.
4 weeks out. Sometimes it's the night of the fight, whatever, which I find.
Is that too late then, or is there something?
It's not too late because you can do things.
Right.
No, it's not too late, but it's not as effective.
Of course.
And I like to win.
Yep.
I want to win as well. Of course I want to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if they win, it makes me look good.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. So, sorry about that.
No, that's all right, mate. Cool. I'm imposing anyway. So,
no, you're not imposing at all. So, yeah, it's just like, you know, 5 minutes before a fight, yeah, you can do something. But you want to be effective.
Yeah. Are you one of them that likes to be in the changing room with people? Or is that not necessary?
Don't enjoy it enough.
Is that right? Because it's a funny place back there, isn't it? You know?
I've been in them countless times.
Yeah.
So it's not new to me. I really enjoyed being backstage for Josh's fight.
Okay.
Seeing all these people that I watch on the zone, Eddie Hearn bounces in, and Jamie Moore, who's a great coach, and you see all the people that you see around. Yeah, that was a buzz for me.
Yeah, because
I mean, what privilege is that to be, you know, in the changing rooms to make sure your man's all right, and you know, and I thought he was fabulous.
Absolutely, and that was a big change, wasn't it? Touching back on Josh, because the first one I watched, and this is not knocking Josh by any means, it's just what I saw with the fight. He got well beaten that one to me. Do you know what I mean?
It's open to conjecture.
Yeah, of course.
But the thing is, whatever people say, the history books say he won. Right, that's whatever.
Yeah.
But what who I was talking to was a very determined. Don't forget, he's younger than me, a lot younger than me. He's a young man who wanted to do well, and they're both working class lads. So's Jack, and I don't know Jack Castle. I got no problem with him, and he does what he does, and he does what he does, and you know. You can all say what you want about it, but look at Frotch and Groves.
That's it, mate. Yeah.
They do they're a podcast together.
Yeah.
Eubank and Ben.
Yeah.
You know, and they need that rivalry to make them who they are. You never know it in later times.
Yeah, of course.
They might be laughing and joking about it. I'm sure they will.
I think they will, because at the end of the day, not all fighters are the same, but similar personalities, isn't they, in terms of who they are?
Yeah, they're ambitious young men that are willing to put their lives and women. They're willing to put their lives on the line to get something out of what they want. How can you knock it?
Yeah, credit belongs to the man in the arena.
Unless you're a dickhead.
And most people that watch fights are.
No, not all of them. I watch it. Sorry, I must make me that
people that don't compete and they've got no skin in the game. A lot of them.
But what I'm saying is like, look, you know. They're probably from working class backgrounds. They probably mostly come from nothing. They've probably they've seen regular violence as part of their life and stuff like that. And to see him achieve, to see him do well, that's why I love One Championship. I don't watch it so much. I'm not a big watching it on thing, but I admire what they do because they give people a chance to earn some money, to make something for themselves and their families. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Of course they want pats on the back. Of course they want to be the champ and walk around with the belt and be the cock of the school. Good. Don't blame you.
Yeah.
However, it's a very, very arduous life and it's very, very difficult. I've got nothing but love and respect for all of them. I mean that, all of them. Some of them I don't like. I'm not going to pretend that I like everyone because that'd be a lie. However, I don't not admire what people do. That's
Yeah.
That's one of the things.
Are you an MMA fan as well?
No.
No, simple answer like that.
No, I'm not. I'm not because I'm not.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not because I don't respect it. I do. I respect people that can play the piano.
Yeah.
But it's not my thing. Although I work with Brendan Loughnane, he's going to get a chance to fight for another $1 million.
Yeah.
He won his first $1 million. He's working with me. He still applies the techniques that we installed in him. I'm sure. However, we'll try and get to him before.
Shout out Brendan. I don't know him
Brendan's
personally.
A great guy.
I don't know him personally, but I've heard him loads. He just seems
Absolutely
like a great
lovely
fella.
Yeah, Mancunian like myself.
Yeah.
And he's doing big things, and so's Dakota DeChiva from Sale. She's doing amazingly well. Know her mum Lisa.
Is this blonde girl? I've seen her online.
PFL,
She's blowing up, right? She's doing well.
She's doing absolutely fantastic. So there's nothing but love and respect for people, and that's what I say about Thai boxing. I love the people in it, but I don't necessarily get so enthusiastic about things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, can't talk about Thai boxing without giving a shout out to my mate Daniel Terry and his son Kayin.
Daniel Terry, yeah.
You know Daniel Terry?
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Daniel,
lovely fella. He's been on the pod.
Very skillful and throwing his legs about and being good looking and muscles everywhere. He's annoying. So
muscles coming everywhere.
Don't never see Daniel Terry again.
Have you seen? He fought the other day in Thailand.
Did he? Yeah.
So he retired a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And his son Kayin, who's 14, 15.
Right.
Sorry, I butchered it, mate, but he's about 14, 15. And he was out there. He was in Thailand training and fighting, and the son's had a fight out there. And by the sound of it, I haven't spoken to him personally since, but it was on social media from what he's posted. Seems like he got the itch and had one more fight, and he ended up winning in Thailand. So
fair play.
Shout out Daniel.
Yeah, nice one, Daniel. I like Daniel. He's a good guy.
Lovely fella, yeah, absolutely.
He's always got respect for him.
Yeah. So if you go from where you are now, mate, in terms of the future, do you have goals of sort of working with specific people, or is it more just come what may and let it happen?
I'm enjoying working with everyone. So to be specific, no. I'm really enjoying working with John Bolland.
Okay.
And his company.
Yeah.
Good guys. You know what it is? When people are a really high level of success, they do what you ask them to do.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's the difference. The difference is, if you say, look, do this, they do that. They don't go, oh, what it was. And you don't want it enough. Once you start wondering and saying, yeah, well, I'm going to do it, but that's never going to work for you. And you're always going to get sketchy results. So when someone that's an expert in the mindset that I am, which isn't being egotistical, that's what they pay me for.
No, yes, they're right, yeah.
And when you give them that, this will work for you and really work for you well. Oh, I didn't do it because, and you're just like, you don't really know what to say.
Yeah.
Because you can't force.
Yeah.
There's a saying, everyone wants to go to heaven, but no one wants to die. So I heard that the other day off my friend. I thought it was brilliant. It's like, well, you've got to be willing to do the things you don't like doing to get where you want to get. As for the future, there's a big thing coming up I can't say. Yep. I'm not allowed to say. I'll tell you later.
Yep, brilliant.
Don't tell anyone. Hopefully would be massive for me, which is thingy. We're always striving to get on Rogan again.
Okay.
Which Joe, get in contact with Joe. Would like to do that again because I've changed so much in the way that I approach therapy, in the way that I approach mind coaching. That there's more to tell.
Okay.
And yeah, Weaponize that we did for Training Tunes, the album, which is a series of instructions to music, so you can listen to it before you train or before you're going running or before you've got something arduous to do. It's a repetitive thing where you start to get into the mindset, so that's a really good big thing. Shout out to Training Tunes and Yazoo, give me the opportunity to do that. We're going to do more, so there'll be Weaponize, Synchronize, Harmonize.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
so that's a big thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be a series. But yeah, Weaponize is out now, so you can get it on Spotify, on Apple Music.
We'll put the link below.
So yeah, thank you very much. And that's what we're aiming to do, just aiming to get better, to get fitter, to get stronger, to stay healthy, to keep training with the people that I love and care for, and yeah, and just keeping on.
Keep getting the message out there.
Being the best person I can.
Yeah, brilliant.
You know, that's my aim. My next thing is learning cognitive behavioural therapy, which I'm enjoying doing.
Cool, nice. And so, just briefly, if you don't mind, we can talk about Joe Rogan because he's apparently he's a bit famous, isn't he, old Joe?
Yeah, a little bit.
So he's quite well known as Joe. But what's he like as a person? Is he genuine as he seems? Yeah.
Yeah, fabulous. Yeah, fabulous. Yeah, good guy. I mean, what can I say? He's like mentioned me like countless times, which I'm extremely grateful for. You know, to have an impact on him. in that way, it makes me happy. Yeah. Joe's a blessing to the world, and people don't get this, that he will question things like other people won't. You know, and he if he doesn't agree with it, he'll disagree with it, which I like. Instead of okay and blah blah blah, he'll ask things, and I like that. I mean, he introduced us to Wim Hof things, the world, and introduced people to me and to people to go and seek other mind coaches who do the same work as me, and it only can be beneficial. Talking about diets, talking about how weight training, and he's a champion of health and longevity and life and gratitude and stuff like that. What isn't to like about the guy, you know? And he's been fabulous to me, and I can't thank him enough, really.
Yeah, because obviously, like podcast-wise, I listen to him on the way here. Do you know what I mean? Like, and when I say listen to him on the way here, I'll finish a podcast with Joe Rogan, which is current, and then I'm like sort of lost for a bit. So I'll scroll back 5 years and I'll just listen to a random sort of MMA podcast from 5 years ago. Yeah. And I'll bring him up because I said I was talking about him on a podcast with someone, and I think it might come across critical, like the way I was speaking about him, like as if it was negative. So I just cleared it up, chaps.
No, I don't believe that for a minute.
I'm a big Rogan fan, and obviously he is almost the godfather of podcasts.
Well, he's a king of podcasting, isn't he?
He is the guy.
But yeah, he's fab. I'd like to see John Borland go on Joe's podcast.
Is that right? Yeah.
Oh, because
I'm sure it happened, right?
It has to happen. If Joe's watching it, so he gets to watch it. Get John Borland on your podcast, because some of the stories he's got are just amazing. Please, honestly.
I will, yeah.
You know what it is,
I'll
right?
find him.
Because
we'll link him in below as well, so people can find him and all that stuff.
Because when I'm watching John Borland, and he starts to telling stories, he tells it in such a way, and he's a brilliant storyteller, so he engages you, yeah?
Yeah.
When I'm talking to him on FaceTime, I forget that he's my client. Do you understand? And he's telling me, and I'm like, and the mouth sort of like, but it really makes you tune in. He's a fabulous guy. Him, Giacomo, Nick Witters, Chris Williamson as well.
Yeah.
Modern Wisdom, a great guy. Another person I've worked with. And I lead a blessed life.
Shout out to all the boys, because I can relate to that a little bit, where you said like you forget he's your client while you're doing it. Because I feel like that when I come here, I was like, fucking hell, I'm talking to Vinny. I was a bit like, Vinny,
Thank you,
but I've loosened up a bit now, and I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah, so I'm the same person as I will be here as I will be outside.
Well,
it's no
amazingly authentic. Because when I showed up and I saw you was training your boy, as I said, Big Steve. I turned up and it was just like the same guy that's on Rogan. Do you know what I mean? Literally.
Yeah, how would I be any different?
But people are. The amount of people you meet.
No, that's weak.
That's weak.
That's weak. If that is just weak. It's like I remember kids at school, and they go to they get put in they'd have to do naughty, like if they were naughty with the police, they'd have to go and do this fitness thing that they had to do. Mm-hmm. Thinking Altrincham somewhere. But they all come back talking like Scousers. I'll tell you what, fucking great. I lived in Liverpool for 8 years.
Okay.
And I stayed the same.
Yeah.
I might go be there now, or look, I love Liverpool. Liverpool's Manchester and Liverpool, got my heart, right? Yeah. But I always thought when people go, yeah, you know what I mean, lads, and you're like, you're not from Liverpool. You're from Cheshire.
You just put on the accent.
Wear it with the badge of honour. Yeah. No, but I always think it's weak. I think if you're any different anywhere else, unless you're an actor, then
Yep, no. I'm with you there.
But it might work for them, so.
Yeah. Well, I think it comes from the office environment, right? From my experience, people have got like the office voice, haven't they? So when they go home and they speak to their mum and they speak to their wife, it's different to the office voice, and then they kind of forget outside the house. I think you have
to, because in commentary, I don't sound like this.
Do you not?
No.
See, I've commentated once, so I'm not calling myself a commentator, but shout out to Ronin on Entity Grappling. We did a podcast and he said, you fancy doing the commentary? And just a bit of a laugh. I said, yeah. And I think I might have been too much the other way, because I was, having a bit of a wind up and just talking like I am with you now. And
commentary's difficult to do.
Well, I was taking the mick out of some people's outfits, all sorts. So it was like, it was what it was. But
the fight is very difficult because they think that anyone can do it. I want to do that. I did a show called It Showtime. It was in Milan. There was like 16,000 people there. And I was working with this person, and it went 10, 9, and I used to go, hello, welcome to It Showtime, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Vinny Shoreman, and we've got an absolute scorcher. And I introduced the commentator, and the camera went on, and he was like that. It's not easy, but everyone and his dog are doing it, which is fine, because you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
However, it's not easy, but I do love it, and especially September the 28th, the Hitman Fight League at Trafford Park.
Brilliant.
The thing that with the Hitman Fight League is there's loads of great shows in England, fabulous shows who have worked for and worked with, and long may they continue. The only difference with Hitman Fight League is it gives you an opportunity to go to bigger places, like one championship. Every kid and his dog wants to go to one championship. Everyone wants to do that. Who does Muay Thai? Yeah. So we have a road in with the people that we work with, and it's growing every single show. And and like I said, there is some fantastic shows in England, and they got to continue because they need the work, they need the experience, and they need the exposure, and they get that, and they do fab, and there's some fab shows coming up this year. But with the Hitman Fight League, you've got an opportunity to really, really get seen.
Yeah, okay. So is it an official sort of feeder league, or is
yes,
it? Yeah, it
100%.
is.
Yeah, it's a road to one championship.
Brilliant.
There's lots of things. The thing is as well, though, with a lot before with Muay Thai, it used to be all rainbow and no gold.
Right. Okay.
Now there's opportunity to get somewhere.
Yeah.
You got to fight on every show to get experience. Even the junior shows that Pete Spensley puts together, they give these kids a platform to get where they want to get to. And Muay Thai in England's very healthy, and there's some fantastic fighters out there. Amazing.
Well, I had a kickbox. He's not Muay Thai. Ruben Borello. Shout out Ruben, mate. He was speaking about like the financial side of kickboxing, and it was like heartbreaking, man, because he was like, he's a professional. He was fighting for it was either a British or a European title. Correct me in the comments, mate, whichever one it was. But it was good level, right? Obviously a very high level. He got knocked out in the fight. And this was like, whatever time, 11 o'clock at night, whatever it would have been. 8 o'clock the next morning, he had a private session, and he's got a whole pads. And he said, like, Jesus Christ, like,
So I was Vinny Shoreman. So I did Ajax Arena, big stadium in Amsterdam. 29,000 people, 89 countries live. And the production was incredible. Big flags, dancers, fireworks, everything. And I was there, my dicky bow, my suit. Everyone knew my name. Vinny Shoreman, hey, you're the voice of Muay Thai, da-da-da-da, blah, 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 blah. The Monday, I was cleaning toilets at a youth club. True story.
Yeah, it's a mad one, isn't it, that?
Yeah.
It is a mad one.
Mopping the floors and cleaning the toilets and hoovering.
Because the chat we had, what I likened it to...
But it humbles you.
Yeah.
I'd rather be there than be there and just, because really?
Right, that can lead to problems.
Really?
Because the conversation we had, me and Ruben, we was comparing it to boxing. Because the day before that, and I don't mention it in case the guy doesn't want me to mention it, but I was in a pro boxing gym, and there was a guy who's a very well-known heavyweight boxer, and like it's just a different world. Like obviously he left the gym, he's going home for a nap, he's in his Range Rover, he ain't got to worry about any of that shit.
Yeah,
do you know
exactly.
what I mean? And it was like,
but it's arduous to get there.
Yeah.
And how he's got that Range Rover, it's not been by like not going to the gym.
He's earned that motherfucker.
He's earned that, mate. You don't. People say, I deserve to be happy. Earn it.
Yep.
Earn it. You all have to earn it. I don't want to be happy. Earn it. No one deserves it. You earn it.
That might be my new saying, mate. When someone says,
"Listen, if honestly, God, like I said, everyone wants to die and everyone wants to go to heaven, but no one wants to die, which is fab." But do you know what I said on a podcast? And I only seen a clip of it last night. I said, "What did I say? Don't have any negative graffiti on the walls of your mind."
Oh,
I like that.
I like that.
I like it, and I didn't even know I said it.
We'll have
I
that.
like that. I was like happy with that. I thought I might have that as a T-shirt. But I mean, I lead a blessed life. I want everyone to do well.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to not do well. Regardless of what they might be to me or they might say, I don't want anyone to not do well.
But I think that's a sign of true happiness, isn't it? When you don't wish bad on others.
Honestly, at this moment in life, at the age that I am, would it change anything? No.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm aware of the shortcomings I've got. I'm aware of who I am. I'm aware of what I do. But I lead a blessed life. You think about it, like I train with one of my best mates. He comes round in the morning. We box. We go in the park. We hit the bags. We're two old fellas. You know what I mean? It's like last of the summer wine meets Rocky IV. And then we go in the sauna and we have a chill and all that sort of bits and a coffee. What is this? And I work and come on. I mean,
that's a good life, huh?
Oh, it's
that's
a
good, man.
Fantastic life. Yeah,
that's good. Just circling back briefly to one, because one's big. Like one, I watch a lot of UFC, or all UFC pretty much live.
Yeah.
But one's not so accessible live for me. Maybe it is, and maybe you can help me out with someone to find it. But I like watching one bits and pieces because they do like the mixed rules fight with Demetrius Johnson and Rod Tang and all that kind of business, which is what I really like. And for me, I like the way they are with the UFC because a lot of people say they want them to co-promote and all that shit. I'm way against that. I like them being separate. It won't happen, but I like them being separate because I think what one's got going on over there is like a unique kind of... When I say spectacle, it sounds a bit negative, doesn't it? I don't mean it as like a freak show spectacle, but it's like when you've got people like Demetrius Johnson, who without any argument is one of, if not the greatest martial artist of all time. And he's fighting Rod Tang, which you'll probably know more about than me. I know who he is, but you'll know more in depth. But to me, that was great. Did you watch that fight?
I did, I did. I watched it, and the outcome's not a surprise when you're fighting someone like Demetrius Johnson. But for me, what I love about one is my friends work for one.
Is that right?
Yeah,
okay.
Rob Cox, Ricky Sewell, Jesse Saunders, Richie Richardson, Richard Wayne. I know that Luke Phillips has been over there a few times. And my friends work for him, and they get treated well. And, Yacht Chastri's doing a great thing for Muay Thai. People don't get it. This is one thing about people don't understand about Thailand. They've got nothing. So you say, I've got nothing. Really? I'm talking they sleep on the floor.
Yeah.
You've got running water. You've got things. You've got internet. You've got this. They've got nothing, these Thai people. And they have to go from rock bottom to get to a level to end up not getting anywhere. It was all rainbow and no gold. It was. Now, there's gold at the end of the rainbow. They've got something to look at where they can focus on, where they say, I want, and they've got aspirations, and there is a chance now to be provided for and provide for the families for generations. I think it's amazing what they do, and I think and long live it. Do I enjoy it, watching it? Yes, but it depends on who it is. But am I an avid sort of one championship telly starer, if that's a word? No.
Yeah.
I'm not. But I've been in it 40 years.
Yeah, it's a long time. And that's what I like with one. As I say, a little bit different to UFC, whereas I watch the UFC, all of them. Whereas one, I like watching bits and like switching off. Do you know what I mean? I think it's great. Yeah,
exactly. And I just think it says what it entertains. People love the fights and and it gives people a chance to get somewhere. I've got nothing but love and respect for it.
Yeah. And they do all kinds of like different things as well. Like they have Thai fights in the MMA gloves in the cage and all sorts, don't they? So like Liam spoke about that, didn't he? About how it was damaging on his hands and whatnot. But what's the score with that now? Is that like, does that count as an official Muay Thai world title if they're fighting for that? Or is
it's fair for world title. Yeah, for it's lots of world titles, isn't there?
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, with one championship, it's the next big fight is September with Superlek and Jonathan Haggerty. Wow. I did their first fight. Yeah, on Yokkao years ago, which I was very privileged to do, of course. All the Yokkao events were amazing. And it'll be an interesting fight. That.
How good's he, Jonathan Haggerty?
Well, you don't do what he does without being.
That's
good,
what I'm getting at because
I know
of him.
Isn't he?
I know of him.
He is a little bit.
He's a London boy, isn't he? So he's from like.
I know his dad. I know his brother Freddie. They're nice people to me.
Yeah, everyone says that. Everyone says that.
Yeah, they're nice people to me. It's and what he's done is nothing but praiseworthy. And good luck to him. Christian knows his coach, great guy from Nosey Academy. Yeah. And they're doing well. It's and it's you can't argue what he's done.
You can't, and he's still young, right?
You see, the difference is information and fact.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, of course he's still young. Well, everyone's still young compared.
How old is he? Because I was surprised recently. I can't remember.
I think only about 26.
Yeah, something like I think 25, 26, and because that surprised me because it feels like. As I say, I don't know him personally, but it seems like he's been around forever, isn't he?
He's been around a long time, So, he's a good fighter, and and best of luck to them all.
Yeah, good on him.
Liam fighting Sexan as well, so...
Liam Harrison fighting?
Yeah, shout out to Liam.
Oh, he's still going on, is he?
He's going to fight Liam, September the 6th against Sexan in Colorado.
Nice.
Fortunately, I can't make it.
When is that?
September the 6th.
No way, I'm in Colorado in September the 6th. Is that right?
Well, you better be going now.
Oh, mate, I've got to be there now when it's on camera.
So
I didn't know that. That's cool.
So let some rocket launchers go and bring back the bacon to England,
I'll definitely
I'm
try
sure
and
he
be
will.
for that
I'm
one.
sure he will.
Yeah, absolutely. How old's Liam now?
Ask Liam.
Because the only reason I ask is because you see him smashing the pads. Again, that's one of my little fun things to do.
Wolverine, isn't he?
If you ever see him hit the pads, if you haven't seen it, guys, check out Liam Harrison.
Who hasn't seen Liam hit the pads?
Well, I guess. If you've been living under a rock, you're some sort of recluse and you haven't seen it.
He's got 1,100,000 followers or whatever. I think he's in his late 30s,
Yeah.
but he's like Wolverine. I think he's the strongest I've seen him. And I said that to him the other day. I said, it's just ridiculous what he does.
Well, the reason I bring him up with the pads is because the only two people or him and one other that I'd like, and is him and like a young Mike Tyson. It's like that when they hit the pads, there's like something that you just got to stop what you're doing and watch it. Ain't you? He's like,
he does make a clatter, doesn't he?
Oh.
But he's that's what you get through repetitious dedication.
Yep.
And really, really wanting to get what he wants to get to. He deserves every single bit of it. Because I know what he's gone through. He deserves every single bit of praise. He deserves every single bit of money. I know he's done well financially, and I hope he does triple amounts because he deserves it, man.
Yep.
Trust me.
Good on old
hard work. And all the people around him, not just him, there's stories, everybody around him has helped make that. His dad, Kev, people that have sponsored him, Richard, Andy, Badger, all the people from Bad Company. It's an ongoing story, and he deserves everything. They all do. Other people that put themselves in that ring to lay themselves bare in front of people. Fair play to him, man.
Yeah, because one thing you touched on earlier, you said he's born for it, right?
Yeah.
And one thing that people say is that, like in fighting, and you tell, I'd be interested to hear what your view on this is. There's sort of three categories of fighter. They've all got elements of all three, but there's like, your artist, your athlete, and your pure fighter. Yeah. He well, you know him better than me, but he obviously, to me, falls into the...
He could do it all, though, because if you watch his technical ability, it's astounding.
Yeah, because that's what...
He's got an amazing jab.
Yeah.
This is what I said to him today. You've got an amazing jab, start using it.
Okay.
When he used it, he won't have to throw bombs because he just bust people up with that. It's like a straight punch of a normal fighter. But he's artistic, he's skillful, he's knowledgeable, he's obsessed. That's the way to be.
Yeah.
I like boxers. I don't really like fighting.
Okay.
I don't like that. It's like, right. But I do like... Stop it! But I do like boxers. I do like slipping and sliding, and Lomachenko and Andre Ward and Shakur Stevenson and people like that, Dennis McCann and all the people that do all that sort of stuff. I like the art of that.
Yeah.
I'm a big boxing fan.
That's brilliant, because I always kind of, when I come towards the end, I start asking about fights and whatnot.
Okay.
And you're an older generation than me, so you'll have some great answers, hopefully. And we'll compare notes on who we think is what. But who, sort of growing up, before we get into too much detail, who growing up was the guys that you was looking at boxing?
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah, straight, no hesitation.
I knew every single word the commentator said when he fought Marvin Hagler.
Okay.
Every single word.
From start to finish?
From start to finish.
And that's an interesting point. Who won that fight, in your opinion?
Yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard.
You did, because officially he got the decision, but it's controversial, isn't it?
Hagler went orthodox for the first 6 rounds.
Yeah, okay.
And if he'd gone southpaw from the beginning, he might have won, but he didn't. So.
Because I was on a podcast the other day with someone, I can't remember who it was, but I'll find out. We was talking about this fight, and I said I narrowly think Marvin Hagler won.
But if you watch the fight, when he turned southpaw, he had better success.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah.
Because Leonard always had problems with southpaws. Found it more difficult with southpaw. I mean, he's awesome, isn't he?
Unbelievable. Legend.
But with southpaws, he did struggle because he based everything off his jab and landing his jab and being sharp. But I mean, I thought Leonard won.
Yeah. It was close as you like.
I met Hagler as well.
Did you?
Yeah, I met Marvin
Rest in peace, Marvin Hagler. Sadly no longer with us.
Yeah. Rochdale, I met him a few years
ago. In Rochdale?
I know, of all places.
Yeah. Side note,
that's famous for that meeting Marvin Hagler and Lisa Stansfield, and that's it.
Well, side note, just briefly on Marvin Hagler, it's not my story, it's an old client of mine. Shout out to Toro if this ever finds you, mate. Italian guy from Milan. And Hagler,
he lived in Milan, Hagler.
Right. He finished his career and he went to Milan. I think he had an Italian wife and stayed there, right? So my guy didn't know much about boxing. He was at university. He was, 18, 19, whatever he would have been. And he was, just used to bump into this guy. He said there wasn't many black guys around at the time. So got chatting to this guy just regularly in an apartment complex. I think it was some strange situation. And he said every day he'd speak to him. And this was going on for months and months and months.
He didn't realise it was.
And he said one day they're around his house and they're having coffee and they're doing whatever. And his other mate comes round, the Italian guy's mate. And he was all kind of and didn't know. And his mate... he thought his mate was because he was a black guy. And he was said to him after, what the fuck, what's the matter with you? He's my mate. And he was like, do you not know who that is? And sort of showed him who he was, took him to a bar with memorabilia. And he didn't know who he was. So that's a cool little Marvin Hagler story. Yeah. But who's the greatest of all time, mate? Let's get right to the point. Best fighter of all time, boxing.
That's hard to put, man.
Yeah. So I'm putting you on the spot,
Who's my favourite?
Yeah. Who's your favourite? Who's the best?
I've got a few.
Okay.
I like Vasily Lomachenko.
Unbelievable.
I like Usyk.
Yep.
I like southpaws.
Do you? Okay. Are you a southpaw? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Pernell Whitaker.
Yep.
I like Sugar Ray Leonard.
Okay.
Meldrick Taylor, I loved.
Forgotten man, Meldrick Taylor, isn't he? Because of how his career went, I think. But he was maybe the best of all, right?
He's fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was next to me, Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yep.
I've got to mention Roberto Duran because Steve's over there and he'll start crying. But he loves Duran. He's got a tattoo of Roberto Duran.
Well,
you can't see Steve behind the camera, but he's got
yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah,
he's got a Roberto Duran. No, I mean...
we got to mention Tommy Hearns while we're there, just because we can't leave him out of the four, can we?
But I liked, for me, it was... I like Andre Ward. And why Andre Ward sticks out. Have you heard the story about Paul Smith?
Yes, I have. Tell this one. Yeah, I did.
I was watching
the
Paul
money
Smith.
thing
I like
you're
Paul
talking
Smith. I know his dad. I know Liam.
Okay, but you're talking about the money situation, right?
Yeah,
the story. I heard this recently.
It was like 100. I think it was 125 grand.
That's what I heard. I heard 125.
And Andre Ward wavered that because Paul didn't make the weight.
Yeah.
Paul had trouble making the weight, but Andre Ward's a good person.
Well, I think Eddie Hearn told this. He said to Andre Ward.
I heard the story anyway.
Yeah, you had, because I heard it recently. Apparently, he said to Eddie Hearn, "Is he a good guy?" And Eddie Hearn said, yeah. He said, does he have a family? He said, yeah. He said, tell him, don't worry, keep the money.
And then he said, you have a baby on the way. So, I mean, that goal, for me, fighting and skill set and all that, right, and knocking people out, good. But it's like, it's the person.
Yeah.
If you just look at the boxer, then you could love loads of them.
Yeah, of course.
But I like what the person stands for.
Yeah. I like that.
Do you know what I mean?
I
like Lomachenko, he admits he's been humbled. I like Usyk when he's crying, talking about his dad. And he's saying, oh, you should have fun. You should have enjoy your life and enjoy boxing. And this is... And they don't... I don't like that machoism. It makes my skin crawl.
Yeah, okay.
Machoism, yeah, break his... My God.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Thanks for that.
We don't need it, do we? I don't think in the sport. I don't think we need it.
No, we don't. No.
We don't need it.
Not at all. Not at all. We just need people that they fight.
Yep.
And then afterwards, they're nice to everyone and be nice to people. And money's a superpower. If you've got money, you can help people out with it. That's great. But I mean, there's a few things that I find abhorrent.
I got you. How about Muay Thai? Because I'm not so clued up on Muay Thai as I am on boxing and MMA. Who's the GOAT in your opinion? I've got a few opinions, but yours will be more educated.
For UK?
Yep, UK.
Liam.
Let's go. Okay, Liam. Of course, right. Silly question.
Liam, Haggerty. Oh, there's so many from England. And years ago, before that, Ronnie Green, who used to fight, a brilliant fighter, paved the way for a lot of people. But yeah, Liam, James Franz, Frankie Udders, Andy Frasher. They've got a lot of people who I loved and helped me keep that spirit of it all. The best of all time, my favourite ever was Namkabwan, Nonki Payut Jim. He was incredible. I loved him. No, sadly, no longer with us.
Right.
He died, of course. But Sanchai.
My favourite Sanchai.
Sanchai.
I like the way he moves.
Sanchai's great fun as well. I love Sanchai. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
And
fought Liam 3 times, right?
Yes. Yeah. And losing to Sanchai isn't.
No shame in that.
You should expect to lose.
Yeah, no shame.
Let's be honest. But Sanchai, I got a lot of love and respect for. From Holland, the Thai boxers from Holland was Ivan Hippolyte, who I absolutely loved. Ramon Decker, of course. Yeah, I could go on all day. Danny Bill. But for me, the greatest of all time is probably Sanchai.
Sanchai is, yeah. Wow.
Of all time.
So maybe
Samart Payakaran by the Thais, that's their guy.
That's who they see, is it?
Yeah. And Somrat Kamsing, who's
another
very
famous
he
guy.
won the gold. Did he win the gold medal in the Olympics in '96?
Yeah. He was an Olympian for sure.
Yeah, and he did
win a gold medal. He did win a gold medal. Yeah, he did.
It was in the same category as
Floyd
Mayweather.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Shout out because Floyd, for people that don't know, he actually got the bronze, didn't he? He got robbed by the Bulgarian.
It's not the Bulgarian.
No, sorry, against the Bulgarians.
Roy Jones did against Paxi Hun.
Unbelievable.
Which was the worst decision of boxing of all time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for me, definitely Sanchai.
Good, because that makes my opinion a little bit more educated, because I would have said Sanchai. So before we finish up, mate, I always have a bit of fun. We've touched on it a little bit already, but I always ask people who's their football team, and I think you're going to disappoint me here.
I am going to disappoint you, yeah. Look, by birth, I'm a United fan.
Okay.
By passion, no. I mean, right.
By passion, who is it?
None.
Well, I'll give you a hint. As a team from London, they start with C, they play in blue, maybe you can...
Oh, Crystal Palace.
Hey! That was good. I like that. That wasn't planned either.
Look, Chelsea. Look, I see my mates all love football and all that, but I've never been into it.
Yeah, I got you.
It just never caught my imagination. But if there's anything you must put a badge on me, so to speak, it'd be United. But however, it's
obviously don't like trophies. Never mind.
Not anymore. We had enough. We just give other people a chance now for the next 40 years. Why I admire City fans, I must admit, true City fans, Man City fans, is they got ridiculed for years.
Oh, they've been through it.
They have been through it. So it's seasons and it swings and roundabouts and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But they haven't got the history of United, have they? They haven't got that Busby Babes and stuff like that, or the Shankleys of the Liverpool. So there's always had to cling on to.
Well, it must be like
down to the bottom.
That's it. It must be terrible for a true United fan now, right? Yeah. Seeing the City success, because like when I was a kid, and you'll speak to this, Big Steve, it was like they weren't even in the top division, man. No. they was nowhere. So,
no, they weren't. But you know what? Like I said though, and like I said, my friends, I live like this. If it's not hurting animals, and you're not hurting each other without consent, and you're not causing anyone any problems, crack on with your life.
Yep. If
you're not doing anything that's harmful, whatever, you love football, you love golf, you love bowling, whatever. Mm-hmm. As long as you be a decent person. That's all that matters to me.
Yep, I'm with you there, mate.
Yeah.
So you can support anyone you like except Liverpool, guys. How about that?
Yeah, well, you can support Liverpool if you want. My wife's a Scout. My wife's a Liverpool fan.
Is she? And never mind, we'll get her on next time. We'll grill her. But Vinny, we'll put loads of links because we might have more links in this one than any other podcast. So
let me just say though, that the premise of what we talked about is just a little bit of what we do.
Yep.
But listen to Weaponized.
Yep.
I think it's very, very important.
Yep.
There's hypnosis at the end of it as well, so don't listen to it while you're driving. But the feedback I've had has been incredible.
Yeah.
So you get more eyes and ears on Weaponized.
Brilliant. As I say, we'll stick all the links below, mate.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll stay in touch, mate, because I've had a great time. I've got something coming up that I won't speak about on here yet too, so maybe I'll speak to you briefly.
We'll have a coffee.
We'll have a bit of
secret
chat.
Coffee with Steve now and a secret chinwag. None of you will know about it.
All right, but Vinny, thank you very much for doing this, mate. I really appreciate it, man.
Mine. Cheers.
I always finish with the fist up, mate. Squeeze the neck. Boom!